Hey everybody, so this is my review here on the Geekvape Zeus X. It is the upgrade to the Geekvape Zeus dual coil. What I will do is we will go down, we will have a look. I will apologise in advance for the state of my deck when I do the lowdown, and yeah, then we shall come back and I can tell you guys exactly what I think. Okay, so here we have the box for the Geekvape Zeus X. So as you can see, it is the 2mm TPD version. And then as you go along, you can see all the different colour options there: stainless steel blue, black, rainbow, red, black and gunmetal. So I've gone for the black option here. On the back here, it does advise us that this is the final edition of the Zeus series, especially designed for RT8 enthusiasts. So there will be no more Zeuses. The next series that they will bring out will obviously not then contain that Zeus name. On the other side here, we've got the Geekvape Tech and Geekvape Facebook and Instagram pages. You also have your scratch and check authentication. And then you come back here to the front. So once you slide it out, you've got like this sort of embossing, shiny sort of Geekvape area here. And you're going to slide it open. You do have these if broken, don't accept sort of seals. However, I have been using mine, so I will accept this one. Now this is the Geekvape Zeus X as you will see it. So as you can see here, it does come with like quite a stubby drip tip on there. It comes with that trademark top airflow design here. It's got a stubbier bottom to the original Zeus. The original Zeus was the Zeus Dual, sorry, has a thicker base here, and then it's also got the twist pop off, like a bit of a different style to the kidney juice inlets there. And then if I put that to the side for the moment, in the rest of the box, what you will have is you have this, which when you open it up, you have your tri-tool. You also have a Allen key, you've got some spare grub screws in there, you also have an Ultim drip tip, some spare O-rings as well. You also, in here, have a spare glass, which unfortunately is not a bubble glass, so it will still remain at a 2mm tank at this point in time. However, I've done some research and it does look as though the bubble glass from the Zeus Dual will also fit on the Zeus X. So, you know what, screw it for now. There we go. So, getting back to the Zeus X itself, so it is very, very nice. It's 25mm, I believe. And yeah, as I said before, it's got that distinctive top airflow on here. It does have the very nice sort of branding here of like the Medusa head type thing. Then you also have very nicely Zeus emblazoned here on the back. Now, when it comes to opening it up, this will have a build in it right now, just purely because, as I said, I have been using my Zeus. The most distinctive part of the Zeus in comparison to the old Zeus is the fact that they also have this airflow chimney. So with this, it's got this sort of honeycomb airflow in it. It allows it to come in the top and the bottom, so the airflow will come all in around in this sort of a size, and then what will happen is it will only come in here. That then aligns with the inlets here on the deck, which then means that your airflow is directed straight at the coils. I have tried vaping it without this in there. It is horrible. I would not recommend it at all. So it is definitely there to enhance your vaping experience and not hinder it. And then yeah, all that happens is that will drop straight in there, and then you will line up those notches, as I said, with the notches on the deck. Now, what I am going to do here is I am just going to pause it a moment, so that way I can take out the cotton, because I am wanting to change the coils and re-wick, so that will allow me to then show you the deck. So, as I said, back now with a pair of scissors. What I'm going to do is I am going to pop this on top of my Vupu. And then, yeah, as I say, just going to snip these bits out here. The other half will kill me if I get juice on the table. As you can tell by how I'm pulling it out, it was quite packed in there. And yeah, it does reveal this beautiful rethought deck. So in here, as you can see, it's spaced off. You can see sort of like the separation on the posts there, and yeah, my build in there does look despicable, so I apologise for that already. But yeah, it does mean that your legs sort of drop into this area here, You can snip them through the gap. It's a little bit of a tight one, however you can, as I say, snip it through that gap, and that way your legs don't touch the deck. Now, where in terms of the wicking holes, they have not changed at all, so the wicking holes themselves are still that weird semi-kidney sort of shape. And then your juice obviously would then go down here on the outside of the deck. Now, I must admit, the fact that the deck is how it is makes it a lot easier in terms of being able to sort your coils out when you do put a build in here. It doesn't have that restrictive sort of side section where the airflow was going to cut in from, as the Zeus Dual does. And it also, I find it a little bit easier to wick. I mean, you're able to make this area almost as messy as you like. You don't need to have it so tidy in terms for everything to work. So that is another massive plus for me. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to repair these coils because they do look nasty as hell. I will put some fresh wick in there, and then we can come back up top and I can tell you what I think. So I do apologise because I did just say that we were going to go up on top, but I did just want to say that yeah, never ever ever let your deck get that dirty, man. That's disgusting, and very poor form on my part. But yeah, so when you get it, and you get your build in there. See, it's same coils, believe it or not, but yeah, so it's just all about making sure that the cotton goes in there. Now you do want the cotton to sit just below the inlet here, so literally just so the juice, it can just pick up that skimming bit of the juice, and then that way you can get it wicking nice and easy. So now we will really go back up top, and I can tell you guys what I think. Sorry about that. Okay, so that was the up and close there on the Geekvape Zeus X. So, as I said before, once again, apologies for the state of my coils there. So there are a number of different things that I want to sort of hit on before we sort of bring this review to a close. So the first thing is the fact that there are a number of different reviews that I've watched on this, and they've sort of explained how there were a couple of issues that they had with it, i.e. the airflow control ring coming off when they take the top off of the tank, sorry, also the O-ring at the base of the tank coming off and sort of like always being loose when they go to remove the bottom of the deck to either re-wick, put your coils in, whatever it may be, but when you remove it, for that to come away. Now, in the whole time that I've used this, I have not had any of those issues, so I'm glad to report that in terms of that respect, I've had no problems at all. Obviously, the reviews that I'm talking about in terms of that are ones where they've had like the sort of the pre-release, the really cool pre-release pack. Bought this one when it got released, so I wasn't one of those lucky few. However, I guess they've probably taken a lot of that feedback on board, and they've made a couple of changes, hence why that is now no longer an issue. So that's the first thing I wanted to hit on. Another thing that I wanted to hit on is I do not have the drip tip on there that comes with the box. Personally, for me, I like to vape constantly, and because of that, the fact that it's a stubby drip tip would mean that my lips would then touch the top here, and with that being the case, I would end up getting burnt a lot. So personally, I've got the Recurve RDA Recurve drip tip on here, just because for me that is sort of like the right size. It's nice, comfortable, and but yeah, it's one that I can use all day. Now, in terms of how this thing vapes, it is smooth as anything. Now, I would say that is obviously due to the little chimney that they've got in there with the honeycomb, and the fact that it aligns perfectly with the coils makes it literally one of the smoothest vapes that I've ever had. I've tried vaping it before without having that little chimney in there. It is not designed to have you remove that chimney. I can say that 110%. It's definitely made to have that in there. It's rough, it's noisy, it's everything that you do not want from any tank, whether it's an RTA or otherwise. So with the vape at the moment, I have got the airflow fully open. It's lovely, like I said, nice, smooth cloud production. It is brilliant. An amazing thing that they seem to have managed to do is, because for me, I prefer it to have sort of like the half the airflow. It just brings that flavour out a lot more. But yeah, it sounds exactly the same. There's no sort of increase in the noise. So yeah, I'm not sort of like taking a shallower inhale to sort of try to make the impression that it isn't louder. It genuinely is phenomenal. I don't know what wizardry they've worked on it, but it's a drastic improvement on the Zeus Dual. a lot of the pros on here are the fact that it comes with everything that you need. It comes in a plethora of colours, so no matter what your favourite colour type is, you can sort of, there's pretty much something there for everybody. The deck is a fantastic improvement on the fact that there is now no air hole slots that will get in the way when you're trying to adjust your coils. Another thing is the fact that how smooth it is. The fact that that chimney does make make the vape a million times more enjoyable. The flavour on here is phenomenal. A couple of the downsides for me are, for me personally, and as I said, it's a personal choice, is the drip tip, purely because that drip tip for me is too stubby. And the fact that even though it's an RTA, it still only comes as a 2mm. I'm a little bit disappointed at that. However, what I have found out is that from what I've read and from what people are saying, the bubble glass for the Zeus Dual will fit on the Zeus X, which is good news. I haven't got bubble glass to hand because I broke mine. But from what I've been told, it will fit on here, so you can then increase the capacity, which I think takes it from 2 to about a 3.5, maybe a 4. So that's always a plus side. There is always a way around it. Now, yeah, I really don't think that there is any other downsides to it. The design, it looks amazing. Everything that you need comes with it, other than sort of like coil space adjusted, and that way you can make sure you do your adjustments. But other than that, literally, there is no downside for me at all. Really enjoy it. Glad that I got it. I don't feel as though it's a new release of something that I've got already, and we've been let down in terms of quality, in terms of what they promise, or in terms of just the overall performance. I think it outperforms the Geekvape Dual in pretty much every area. So yeah, if there's anybody that's sort of doubting whether to get one, or they're not too sure, or they wonder whether it's worth it, I would definitely say it's worth it. I would say that you are going to be pleasantly surprised, because although I was expecting it to be good, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. So yeah, it's a massive 10 out of 10 for me. Well, I say 10 out of 10. With the cons, I'd say that this is probably, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10, purely because the capacity is something which could be easily changed, and the drip tip. But the drip tip, if you've got your own drip tip off of any other RTA or sort of stock tank that you like, you can sort of change that anyway. So I'd definitely give it a solid 9 out of 10, and say that, yeah, anybody that wants to try either the upgrade of the Zeus Dual, or anybody that's looking to get into an RTA, I would definitely say it's a good place to start, because the deck is brilliantly easy to build on. The coils through those little kidneys, and in the post you are able to get your wire cutters in there, so that's another plus. And yeah, to wick it is not difficult to wick either. I mean, the only other thing would be like lining up the air hole, like the airflow chimney, but it's very easy to do. I've not messed it up yet, so I will stand by the fact that it's easy to do, because if I can do it, I'm pretty sure anybody can. So yeah, as I say, this is the Zeus X. Definitely one to get if you're questioning it at all. It's Geekvape, so it's going to be brilliant anyway, and on top of that, it just outperforms the predecessor. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Hopefully you guys have stayed here to the end. If you have, I really appreciate it. And other than that, take care, stay safe, and happy vaping.